What is up, guys? Welcome back to another album review today. If you guys are still enjoying these, go ahead and hit the like button. If not, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'm going to change things up a little bit today. I'm not going to do a track-by-track explanation of an album. Today, we're just going to get right back into it. Today, we're going to be looking at the band Holy Terror. Holy Terror is a band that I believe originated in Los Angeles, California. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're classified as thrash metal and speed metal, I guess. I would call them more thrash than speed metal, to be honest. I also believe they only had 2 studio albums, and today we are going to do their second one. And it's called Mind Wars, and they recorded it in 1988. Got my brisk iced tea here. Lemon. So I started writing down like track by track, but then I kind of scrapped that. I guess I will explain the first track. It's called Judas Reward, and I guess this kind of opens you into the album. Honestly, this was probably one of my favorite tracks on the album. The intro to this song was pretty cool. It was slow and grabbing. Then it speeds up. I used to hate thrash, but this is actually really good. It's heavy, but like in a thrash way, not a death metal way. You know what I mean? Like there's certain kinds of heavy. Very 80s sounding vocals. Sounds a little underground, but most thrash kind of does sound underground, if you know what I mean by that. It does all blend together pretty nice, though. I was not expecting the solo in the first song at all. It just kind of came out of nowhere, and it was really, really good. And then I just went directly into some background. Not background, but just like my opinions on this. This band is honestly great at what they do. To me, the vocals could be just like a little bit better. I do not own this album, by the way. I may own this album. I might in the future. Gotta stay hydrated. I might in the future. It's not a bad album. It is an album I would revisit. Mike Alvord and Kurt Kilfelt did like an amazing job on the guitar work in this album. Sorry, I can't speak. They really did do a great job with the guitar work in this album. And I feel like it really puts the whole album together. I don't necessarily think they had any lineup changes at the time. But the improvements in this album compared to the last one are just absolutely great. And to think that their last album came out just a year before this, it sounds completely different, and it's really good. The introduction to the third song kind of gave me like a bit of a Metallica vibe, to be 100% honest. I thought it was pretty good, honestly, and then it just went right back into the normal Holy Terror sound. Good execution, definitely. The songs all sound a bit similar, but you can still tell them apart, unlike other bands where it literally just all sounds the same. My old school cup here. Okay. This is where my notes get interesting because this is very true. Sorry, I've got sinus problems. It's like a mix between heavy thrash and like an 80s hair band. It's like they kind of like fucked and made Holy Terror, which I'm not complaining about. It's alright. Okay, this is where I became a little more brutally honest. I'm one of those people who typically likes something better the second time I listen to it. But with this one, I actually remember liking it more the first time because I listened to this a couple weeks ago and thought it was like, it literally came out 8 days ago on the Metal Archive. So that's the first time I ever heard of it. It was like 8 or 9 days ago that I listened to it. To be honest, it's a tiny bit too free. And I think what I meant by that was, like, there was no, like I said, there was great execution, but I don't know that there was great organization. It definitely is a good band, but it's just, there's some things that could use some tidying up. The only reason I didn't give a full track review for every track like I usually do is because they all sound a bit alike. And there's a lot of bands like that that produce the same sound, and they're good at it, but it gets old. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I was feeling this album. So, there was that. What I said here, and this is a compliment, because a lot of bands are good for, like, partying. Some of them aren't good for just sitting back and relaxing and listening to. This is one of those bands. I said this is great music for a garage party with friends. Like, if you got a man cave out in the garage that's all decked out in, like, metal apparel, or you're just some badasses out in the country, like The Heads, of course. Got to promote The Heads. Go subscribe to The Heads YouTube channel. The Heads with a Z. We don't post much, but just, yeah, go subscribe. And, we're going to reset the clubhouse back up soon. So if you want to see what our clubhouse looks like this summer, go ahead and subscribe to my main channel, Blind Sandwich, because we're going to be redoing our clubhouse with cheap furniture, and we're just going to party out there this summer. Enjoy our last summer in this house. Not this house, but that place at my dad's house. So, like I was saying, this music is great for like a garage hangout, and that's a good thing, you know. Not a lot of bands you can just sit back and relax and party with friends or family in a garage. But I'm one of those people. If you want to listen to something over and over again, this is not your album. It gets kind of annoying after a little while. I will say one more time that I'm very impressed with the guitar work. It's very hard to hear the bass in this album. I don't know if it's just because of the older recording or the lack of bass, or if it was just overridden by the guitar. I don't know. But it was hard to hear it. And then I touched a little bit on the album art. The album art is pretty cool. You can see it in the thumbnail. I thought it was pretty cool. And I believe it represents God being overthrown by a dark entity, because you can see like the cross getting torn apart by some snake-looking thing. So, I don't know. And even though I'm a Christian, I thought that was pretty cool. Like, it was a pretty cool concept. So yeah, I went on to my overall rating of this album, and you know, like, when I thought about me rating Hail to the King a 72 out of 100, I had to kind of step back for a second, because Hail to the King is a really good album, and I thought this was a little bit less than that. So I gave this one an overall rating of 65 out of 100, and to be honest, that's not terrible. Once you get below 50, then you start to get pretty bad. But for me, anything above 50 is like halfway decent, so yeah. Anything below that is just trash in my opinion. But 64 out of 100, that's not terrible. I would revisit this album. I like this album. I just can't listen to too much of it at once. I can't really listen to the whole thing all the way through. I could probably get about 6 songs through. And then come back to it later. Because they're a good band, but, you know, the same sound over and over again kind of gets a little old. But, yeah, like I said, great execution. Recording quality could be just a little bit better. It'd be cool if they did, like, a remaster, because I know this is, like, recorded in '88, so it's not going to be the best quality. But yeah, other than that, absolutely great album. Love it. I honestly wish these guys would have made more albums, because I know they only made 2, and their first one wasn't that great. So to me, this is my favorite album by Holy Terror, and it's going to stay that way until they come out with another one, which I don't presume would be any time in the future, because the last album they came out with was this one, all the way back in 1988. So I don't know what happened to that band, but yeah, hope you guys are enjoying your day. Night, whatever it is, and yeah, stay true to music, stay metal, and I will see you guys in the next reaction, which is another Avenged Sevenfold review. So, which album is it going to be, guys? You tell me in the comments. I'll see you guys soon. Stay metal.